Good morning, everybody, and as usual, happy Saturday. I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today's stick mobility class this morning, especially on your Saturday. So for today's class, we are going to need access to 3 sticks, 2 long sticks, 1 short stick. We're also going to need access to 3 kettlebells. One of those kettlebells, oh, Hawaii, what's happening? We want to make sure that it's heavy. We're actually going to be working on 2 different variations of a deadlift. One of the variations we're actually going to be doing is going to be an eccentric specific deadlift. The other one is going to be a staggered deadlift. And we're also going to work with a double kettlebell front squat. I actually wanted to make today's class a little bit harder on you guys, not going to lie. It's the last class of the month where we're actually using kettlebell, so I wanted to make things a little bit interesting. We are going to get into some core drills as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Also, make sure you have a rack or ceiling or something stable for you to drive the stick up into. That is going to be part of our priming. So make sure you have something available to you that's going to keep you ready here. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to really quickly work through the feet and the ankles first, since we are going to be doing lower body specific type of drills today. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to take a step back. We're going to take a wide stance, wider than shoulder width here, folks. And I'm going to start with the short stick. The stick's going to be in line with my center line. Hands are going to be stacked right in front of my torso, right in front of my sternum or chest. And from here, I'm going to squat down. I'm going to bring both heels up, and I want to keep all 5 toes in contact with the floor, but I'm not actually bringing my hips up, right? Not bringing my torso up. My torso stays at the same height. I'm going to bring my heels back down, back up again. Good. Down. Back up. Good. Up as tall as you can. Down. Back up. You're going to hold this top position. We're going to go 1 ankle at a time. We're going to do lateral shift. So we'll start at that right ankle first. I'm going to shift my right heel out away from my center line, and then I'm going to bring that heel in towards my center line. Then out. On that pinky toe, shift in. Now we're on that big toe. Shift out. And shift in. Back to center. Switch to the left. Shift that left ankle out. Good. Shift in. Out. Breathe. In. Out. And in. Back to center. Both heels down. Nice and easy. And relax here. All right. We're going to need a pad. We're going to go to the floor here. We're going to go 1 knee down. We're going to do both sides here. We're going to work on pelvic tilt. However, we're going to be in a split hip position here. And so I'll actually turn to the side. And I want to keep my back foot dorsiflex. So I want to make sure I'm creating tension on that back foot by driving that foot into the floor. That's going to activate those anterior tissues here. Now my left leg is going to be forward. You can play around with the distance here as you need to. Stick's going to be in line with my center line. From here, both hands are stacked. I'm going to drive the stick down about 20% tension. Make sure everything's up nice and tall. Then I'm going to tuck my pelvis posteriorly. So I'm going to roll my pelvis under here and drive that back foot into the floor at about 30% tension. We're going to hold for 8 seconds. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Ease off. We're going to do that again. Drive the stick down. Tuck the pelvis. Drive that back foot into the floor. Squeeze that glute. Hold. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. And ease off. We're going to switch sides. We're going to do that same thing. Make sure you switch your hands here. Arms straight. Drive the stick down. Tuck your pelvis posteriorly. Drive that back foot into the floor. You should feel that left glute contract here. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Ease off. Let's go one more time, folks. Drive the stick down, tuck the pelvis, drive that back foot into the floor. Hold, we're only at 30% here. Just trying to warm up. 3, 2, 1, excellent, and ease off. Let's go ahead and grab one of the longer sticks here, and I'm actually gonna change this camera angle just a little bit. All right. So we're still gonna be in that half kneeling position, and I'm gonna have the stick behind my mid back here. I'm gonna have my right foot forward, back foot is still dorsiflex, so I wanna drive those big toe into the floor. Now from here, I'm gonna start by shifting my hips forward. We're gonna get a little bit of a stretch on that left hip. Now from here, I'm going to rotate to my right. So I'm rotating towards my front leg, and then I'm gonna bring the left end of the stick down in front, and I'm gonna pull apart. As I do that, I'm getting upper back activation. We're also getting more rotation here. Ease off, come back up to neutral, rotate back forward, rotate to the left. Keep your left hip facing forward. We don't want it to leak outwards. Bring the bottom of the stick on the inside of your right leg, pull apart. Breathe. Excellent, ease off, come back up, rotate to the right. Same thing, stick down, pull apart with about 30% tension here. Want to get a good amount of activation, ease off, back up to neutral, rotate to the left, stick down, pull apart. 3, 2, 1, ease off, back up, back to center, and relax. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. We're gonna do that same thing. Shift the hips forward, open those hips up, rotate towards that front leg, so rotate to the left, bring the right end of the stick down, pull apart. Breathe, 30%. Ease off, back up, rotate to the right, down, pull apart. You start to feel that rib cage open up a little bit here. Excellent, ease off, back to center, rotate to the left, place the right end down, pull apart. Make sure you're splitting those hips. You're still going for that stretch on that right hip flexor. Ease off, back up, rotate to the right, bring the stick on the inside of that leg, pull apart. Three, 2, 1, excellent, ease off, back up, back to center, and relax. Good. We're gonna kick this out to the side. Now we are working on deadlifts and hinging and squat patterns. So we're doing to warm up those lateral hip tissues here. Now I'm gonna have both feet together. I'm gonna have the bottom of the sticks roughly about a foot outside of the line of my, lined up with my midfoot. Bottom of the sticks are lined up with midfoot, but they're about a foot away. Hands are at roughly about shoulder height. From here, I'm going to drive the sticks down, and we're gonna go 30% tension here. I'm gonna hover my right foot off the floor, bring the outside of my foot to that right stick, and I'm gonna push against the stick here. Not leaning or shifting, we wanna stay upright. Now, as I do that, I'm going to slide my right foot up the stick, keeping my knee out. Come up as high as you can, pushing back against the stick, bring the foot back down, back in, and ease off. Excellent, good. Let's go 2 more here. We're only at 30% tension. Drive both sticks down, hover that right foot, bring it to the stick, push, drive that knee out. As you slide up the stick, excellent, back down, nice and controlled, turn that foot forward, good, back in, ease off. Let's go one more time. Drive down, foot off the floor, bring it to the stick and push. Slide that foot up the stick, up, 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 up. High as you can, back down, and back in, ease off. Take a second, we're gonna switch over to the other side. So as you do this, you should be feeling that down leg working as well. It's not just the leg that's actively moving here. Let's go again. Drop both sticks down 30%, hover that left foot, bring it to the left stick, push, slide up the stick, keep that knee out, and back. Excellent, slide it back down, nice and controlled, back in, ease off. We got two more. Drive down, hover the left foot, bring it to the stick, push, slide up, keep the knee out, drive out, external rotation here, folks. Back down, excellent, back in, ease off. We got one more time. Drive down, hover that left foot, bring it to the stick, push, slide up, 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 knee out. You're trying to get as much external rotation here as you can. Back down, excellent, back in, ease off. Wonderful, take a second. Now we're gonna work on, oh, this is gonna be a fun one. We're gonna work on hip flexion to knee extension. Now, as we do this, we wanna make sure that for one, we're trying to get as much knee extension as we can, but we're trying not to lose a level of that hip. So we don't want the hip to come from here down to here as we go to it. We wanna try to keep that knee up as much as we can here, folks. So feet together, both of the sticks are gonna be angled in towards your toes here. We need to go with that natural arm drive. So from here, hands are at shoulder height, drive both sticks down. Let's go at 50% tension. Should feel those anterior core tissues turn on. From here, we're gonna bring that right knee up, extend, hold, 1, 2, back in, down, and ease off. Hard enough as it is, right? Let's go again. Drop both sticks down, right knee up, extend, back in, down. One more time. Keep driving those sticks down, knee up, extend, back in, and down. Ease off. Take a second, switching over to the other side. Drive both sticks down, 50%, get that activation, make sure that right leg is nice and straight. Left knee up, extend, 1, 2, back in, down, and ease off. We got two more here, folks. Drive both sticks down, 50%, knee up, extend, 1, 2, back in, down. Let's go one more time. Knee up, extend, 1, 2, back in, and down, ease off. Excellent. Now, let's go ahead and get into practicing some hinging, right? So this is where we're gonna need a corner of a wall or something stable for us to press the sticks into. You're gonna be familiar with these particular drills here. Now, since we are gonna go with not only a staggered deadlift, but we're gonna go with a normal square stance deadlift, we're gonna be practicing both here. So for the staggered deadlift, something I do want you to really be cautious of is most of the weight is gonna be on that front leg. The back leg is simply just there for balance. So we're not getting that drive off that back leg. So I'm gonna make sure that I got the sticks on my back. I'm gonna start my left leg first. Left foot's gonna be forward. My right foot, my toes, I'm gonna have a high heel position, are right behind my heel. So right behind, not that far behind here. So from this position, staying up nice and tall, I wanna drive the sticks back. So first part, let's go 40%. Can stay a nice, good, tall position. And then I'm going to hinge my hips back, and I'm going to bend my left knee. All right? That's going to be almost like a conventional deadlift. Here, it's not an RDL. So driving those sticks back, then I'm going to stand up using that left leg, getting that hip extension through that left hip. We're going to do that again. So hinge back, bend the knee a bit, hold. We're at 40% tension. Make sure you're gripping the ground with your feet. Back up, pushing off that left leg. One more time. Hinge. Good. Bend that knee a bit. Hold. Up. Excellent. Ease off. Let's switch sides. So right foot is going to be forward here. Left foot is back. Grip the ground with your right foot. Grip it hard. We need as much activation through that foot and ankle as we can manage. Drive both sticks back, 40%. Hinge, bend that knee. Good, keep driving those sticks back. Up, get that hip extension, squeeze that right glute. Hinge again, bend the knee. Excellent, breathe, back up. Good, one more time, folks. Hinge, bend the knee, hold, up. Excellent, ease off. We're gonna set the sticks down, and now we're gonna get into the fun part. And I'm actually gonna show this from the side first. Now, again, most of our weight is on that front leg. We're not using that back leg. That is simply just there for balance. So if you're finding that your back leg is getting too involved, you might need to change your positioning or the distance of your feet a little bit, right? So you can always kind of manipulate and play around with things a bit. So I'm gonna start on my right leg first. We're gonna do 5 reps per side. Now from here, the kettlebells are set up to where my hands are effectively gonna go straight down. That's what we want. We don't want the hands in front, don't want the hands in back. We want the hands going straight down. So right foot is forward, left heel is up nice and high. Barely any weight on that back foot here. From this position, I'm going to go through that same motion. I'm gonna hinge first. Bend this right knee to go down to receive the kettlebells. From here, I wanna pull my shoulder blades going down towards my hips, right? So we're packing those lats, getting that nice and tight, bracing the core, tightening that core. Stand up, 1, back down, touch, up, 2, back down, up, 3, up, 4, one more time, up, 5, back down. Good. Switch sides. So same thing, same setup. Left foot gripping the ground. Arms go straight down. Hinge. Drive those hips back. That is what loads the hamstrings and the glutes. Get set in position. Pack those lats. Tighten that core. Stand up. Drive through that left leg. It's 1. Up. 2. Up, 3, up, 4, up, 5. Place them down, take a second. Let's get into that prime drill one more time. Then we're gonna switch over into a more standard deadlift. And just to warn you guys, that standard deadlift, that is going to be a pretty long eccentric. That eccentric is going to be about 3 to 5 seconds. And what we're going to focus on with that is mainly loading the hips and the glutes as much as we actually can, as well as the hamstrings. So let's go ahead and get the stick set up in the same position. Sticks going behind. Start with that left foot forward first. And here, we're actually gonna only do 2 repetitions. We're going to increase the amount of tension that we're at here. So instead of being at 40%, we're gonna be at 70%. So I really want a lot of drive out of this. So hands are straight down, drive those sticks back, same thing, drive those lats down. So hinge, bend the knee, hold, 70%, drive those sticks back. Stand up, get that hip extension. One more time, hinge back, bend the knee, drive. Excellent, up, and ease off. Take a second, we're gonna switch sides here. Also, another thing that people oftentimes ask is, where should your eyes be? I like to have my eyes kind of down to a little bit more of a 45-degree angle. It just allows you to keep your eye and head level neutral. You want to keep it as neutral as you possibly can. You don't want to be in a position where your neck is up in extension here. So arms are straight, drive those sticks back, hinge, squat down, hold, 70%, drive. Stand up, get that hip extension to the right hip. One more time, hinge, squat, up, and ease off. Excellent, good. Let's place these down. Let's get another set of 5 in, folks. Pull these over. All right, we're gonna start with that right foot first. Left heel's up, nice and high. Hinge, hinge, hinge from the hips. So hinge, squat down, load the hamstring and the quad a bit. Pack those lats, stand up, squeeze that right glute, back down. It's 1, up, 2, core tight, up, 3, up, 4, one more time, up, 5, back down. Excellent. Let's go ahead and switch sides here, folks. Same thing, hands are down, hinge, receive the kettlebells, pull those lats towards your hips, stand up, drive that leg into the ground hard. It's 1, up, 2, up, 3, up, 4, one more time, up, 5, excellent. Back down, take a second. We're gonna get on to our normal regular deadlift. Sorry, more specifically, our eccentrically focused deadlift, right? Take your time with this. Well, as we go through this, we really wanna make sure we organize the spine as much as we can, which means we're not flaring out our rib cage. Our rib cage is actually set down. Pelvis is tucked. We're moving from the hips. We're keeping our core engaged. If your core is not engaged, you are more likely to do less of a hinge, more of a back bend. So we want to protect that low and mid back or low back as much as we possibly can. If you start to find that you're getting a lot of mid back activation, it's your spine trying to stabilize those forces as much as you can. However, core engagement is absolutely key with this. So we're going to take both long sticks again. Only going to do 2 reps. We already did a hip hinging movement. Now we actually need to kind of prime and prep the system for a slightly different type. So I'm going to have my feet forward here. I'm going to go with a shoulder width position. You do want to make sure the position that you do go with is going to be relative to the kettlebell. So arms are straight, shoulders are packed down, drive those sticks back. You should feel those lats engaged. Hinge, good, nice and slow, bend the knees a bit, hold that bottom position, feet are nice and active, good, stand up, Squeeze those glutes. Excellent. Hinge again. Hips back. All the way down. Squat a little. Hold. Excellent. Stand up. Squeeze those glutes. And relax. Awesome. Solid. Now let's take our slightly heavier kettlebell. Don't want to go too heavy here. Again, we're only going to do, let's go with a 3-second eccentric, right? Let's make sure, again, we're organizing that spine. We got to keep that core engaged. I cannot tell you guys that enough. So I'm going to go from the side here. I'll scoot this back a little bit. So that foot stance is still going to be the same. We're going at a roughly shoulder width position, all right? Hips hinge back. I want to drive those hips back behind me as much as I possibly can. I want the kettlebell to be effectively almost directly under me. So from here, go down and receive the kettlebell. Pull my shoulders going down towards my hips, right? Everything's nice and tight here. Core engaged. Drive those feet to the floor and squeeze those glutes. So drive, get to that tall position. 3-second count going down. 3, 2, 1, and down. Once it touches the floor, back up again. Drive those feet hard. Good. 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, down, touch again, back up. Squeeze those glutes. Hinge. 3, 2, 1, back down. Ease off. Take a second. We're not going to go to the primary again. We've primed it plenty. So let's go one more set. So if you're starting to feel like you're missing a little bit of the connection, take a little extra time at the top. Don't be afraid to tighten your core a little bit more. And how you do that, or how you brace, is think about someone's going to punch you in the stomach. You tighten up, right? That same kind of mechanism you want to go with tightening up that same way. But before you actually start to initiate going down, you want to breathe in through your lower abdomen just a little bit to create that intra-abdominal pressure. All right, let's go one more time, folks. So get set up in position, still at shoulder width. Do not change your stance here. So hinge, go back, grab the kettlebell, pull the shoulder blades going down towards the hips, core engaged, drive those feet into the floor, squeeze the glutes. 3 seconds count going down. 3, 2, 1, touch. Drive those feet into the floor. Squeeze those glutes tight. 3, 2, 1, good. Drive those feet into the floor. Squeeze those glutes. 3, 2, 1. Let's go one more. Drive those feet into the floor. Good. 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Good. So, deadlifts are done, right? Really kind of teaching those hinging patterns, also making sure we're getting everything stacked and in the right position so it's more optimal when we do go through our deadlift. This is going to transition over into a barbell deadlift or even more kettlebell deadlift. So something to be aware of and pay attention to is how you set up and how you execute. Now, the next drill we're going to get into is going to be a double kettlebell front squat, right? So we're going to use the same kettlebells that we're using before for the staggered deadlift. You can go with something lighter. You can go with a single kettlebell if you want, or a dumbbell. Go whatever's comfortable. Don't go with the weight that's too heavy. We just want to make sure we're focusing on positioning and working through that range of motion in a very, very safe manner. All right, we're going to get into the dumpy squat here. So I'm actually going to step into the rack. Sorry, let me change camera angles just a smidge. Bow. There we go. Now for the dumpy, using the top of the rack here, right? I want to keep the stick directly in line with my center line. Your foot stance is going to depend on you. Now for me, I tend to go with a little bit of a shoulder width or maybe slightly wider than shoulder width stance. That is what's most comfortable for me. For people who are more mobile, could go with a little bit of a more narrow stance, right? Depends on whatever is most comfortable. So from here, the stick is in line with my center line, or effectively my belly button. My hands are right below my belly button on the stick. We're gonna do 3 reps at 40% tension. So from here, keeping those elbows in, I wanna drive the stick up into the rack. The rack's moving a little bit. I wanna push myself down into that squat, keeping the stick in front. Good, back up. That's 1, push yourself down. Make sure your feet are nice and active. Grabbing the ground with your toes, back up. It's 2. Let's go one more time. Push, push, push. Up. That's 3. Ease off. Excellent. Let's grab our kettlebells here. Now, bringing the kettlebells up. You can do that in a couple different ways. The way I tend to do it is utilizing a double kettlebell swing to bring up into that front rack. Again, you can always go with a goblet squat variation for this if you'd like, right? So from here, I'm gonna get in my squat, whatever squat system I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna set that up initially so I don't have to adjust my feet, looking down, trying to figure things out. Go with whatever stance you wanna go with. From here, we're gonna get set. I'm gonna swing the kettlebells up into that front rack position. I wanna keep my elbows under here, all right? We're just gonna go 5 reps. Make sure you're driving your big toe into the floor. Keep it a nice, good, tall position. Think about a tall spine. I'm gonna squat down. Low as I possibly can. Up. Squeeze those glutes at the top. It's 1. Up. 2. Nice and controlled. Up. 3. 2 more. Up. 4. One more time. Squat down. Up. 5. And take a second. So, core engaged, just like the deadlift. Want to keep that rigidity, keep that tightness. Also, your balance between your feet. You want to try to keep your right and left foot as balanced as possibly can. When you're actually going through the squat and initiating a drive out of the hole, you want to make sure that you're actually pushing through your entire foot. It shouldn't feel like you're pushing through your forefoot. It shouldn't feel like you're solely pushing through your heel, right? You want to keep that force production even throughout the entire foot here. We're gonna go one more time. Last one, folks, last one. Get set in the foot position that you're most comfortable in. Go ahead and grab the kettlebells. Bring them up into that front rack position. Get them nice and under your chin. Elbows under the weight. Grab the ground, drive that big toe down. Squat. Up. 1. Up. 2. Up. 3. Up. 4. Last one. Squat. Up. 5. Excellent. That's the end of that. Squats are done. Right. Let's get in a little bit of core here. A little bit of core. I'm going to turn the camera back, at least just a little bit. So I'm going to move the kettlebells out of the way. And what I actually want to focus on here, just want to create a little bit of tension on the obliques. So what we're going to do is we're going to need the corner of the wall, something to pull the stick into. Or, sorry, more like a door frame. If you have a squat rack, this drill will work pretty perfectly too. You go with the long stick, you go with the short stick, whatever's most comfortable. But from here, I'm gonna go with a shoulder width stance. Feet are gonna be pointed forward. You can adjust your stance as much as you need to. I'm gonna have my hands or my arms at 90 degrees. I'm going with the bent elbow position here, and I wanna make sure I keep those elbows in. I don't want to be flared out here. That kind of gets, takes away from the movement a little bit. Wanna make sure we're in nice and tight. So from here, we're gonna get set, and we're just gonna do a long duration hold of 20 seconds at 30% tension. We're just trying to get some activation here. From here, I'm gonna squat down a little bit. Think about an athletic stance, elbows in, and I'm gonna pull in with my right hand and push out with my left, creating a bow and a stick. We're gonna go at 30%, ready, and pull. 20-second hold, folks. Make sure you're breathing. Halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Ease off. Switch sides. So I'm actually going to turn, go from the side here, and I'll step out a little bit. We're going to do that same thing. Elbows at 90 degrees, elbows bent in, and create that tension. Pull in with that inside hand, drive out with that outside hand. 20 seconds. Breathe. Feet stay nice and active halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Ease off. Wonderful. All right. Just to get a little bit of activation there. Now let's go ahead and get into the deep fascial stretching. We are going to start off with working on the adductors. So since we did squat, all right, the adductors do work. They are not absolved of responsibilities. So I do want to work on the Guitar Hero stretch. And I'm actually going to kind of show this from the side here. I'm going to go with the long stick, back foot, plantar flex. So we're actually extending that ankle so we can still get some drive through the front of the hip. But since we're not focusing on generating power through that big toe, we don't need it to be involved that way. I'm going to have my right knee down. Left foot is going to be out. A big tip for this particular drill: do not lazily let this leg do whatever. We need to actively drive this hip out. We need to abduct that hip. As to do that, that left glute gets involved, but it allows us to stretch out the groin and adductor area. So that's something to really keep in mind here as we go through this. So the stick, bottom of the stick's going out, past my right hip actually, relatively far, but you can adjust the stick as you need to. Left hand is at the end of the stick here, and I have my left foot in line with my right knee. Now from this position here, I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I exhale, I'm going to sink into that stretch, and we're going to drive that right hand down. So right hand is in front of the belly button, deep breath in, exhale. Create that bow on a stick, actively drive that left knee out, abduct that hip. Hold here. Ease off. Excellent. Rotate the stick a bit. We're going to do that again. Deep breath in. Exhale. Breathe. Back up. Excellent. Ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides. And I'll actually show this particularly from the side so you can see how my hips are actually lined up. So right foot is out, right? Left foot is back. Right hand's on the end of the stick here. Left hand is in front of my belly button. We're going to do that same thing. So deep breath in. Exhale. Actively driving that right knee out. So that right glute is going to be active. It's supposed to be. Ease off. rotate the stick. One more time, folks. Deep breath in. Exhale. Ease off. Take a second. Excellent. We're going to come out of that. We're going to get a little bit of rotational work in. I'm sure you guys all know by now, I love me some rotation. So we're going to go with the left foot forward position. Right foot is back. Notice I have a wide base. We want to go with a wide base for this particular drill. What we're trying to focus on here is trapping this front hip, right? Also, we don't want to lose balance for this, right? People try to go with a narrow stance that is actually really not necessarily ideal. You want to widen out that base if it allows you to keep balance. Granted, there's nothing wrong with going a little bit more of a narrow position. Now, left leg is forward, right foot is back. The stick comes on the outside of both legs. So it's in my left hand, comes on the outside of my left leg. The bottom of the stick ends up on the outside of my right foot, all right? Need to make sure, again, we're trapping that leg and the stick doesn't move. So from here, I'm gonna load that front leg a bit, right? Right heel is up nice and high. Reach across with the right hand. It's the first position. I'm already rotated here. I'm gonna lightly pull back, right? Pulling my shoulder down. Gonna let go with this left hand, and we're gonna open up to our left and rotate. Get as much rotation as you can. Now we're gonna focus on breathing through this exercise. So as I'm here, we're gonna go through 3 breath cycles, folks. So deep breath in. As you exhale, you should get further range of motion. So breathe in, exhale. Good, 2 more. One more time. Excellent, come back forward. Relax, ease off, switch sides. You do that same thing on the right side. Remember, the stick comes on the outside of both legs. Outside of the lead leg, outside of that back foot. Keep that back foot up nice and high. All right. Now from here, same thing. We're going to reach across with that left hand. Pull back into a tall position, shoulder down. Let go with the right. Rotate. Get as much rotation as you can. Find that in range. 3 deep breaths, 3 breath cycles. You breathe in. Exhale. 2 more. One more. Excellent. Back forward. Ease off. Wonderful. Now I just want to finish up with an extension drill. All right? We focus on that anti-flexion, right? Because deadlift is kind of an anti-flexion drill to a small degree, at least for the spine. So we're just going to focus on a little bit of extension, opening up that T-spine. I'm going to go with a hip width stance, toes are pointed forward, bottom of the sticks in line with mid-foot. Hands are going to be about roughly shoulder height. We're just going to simply reach out with those hands, drive those hips back, try to get that torso to the floor. Breathe. Back up. Wonderful. Let's go one more time. Hinge back. Really reach out with those hands. Stand back up, ease off, and relax. And that, my friends, concludes today's stick mobility class. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope everybody had a good class. Again, I wanted to make it a little challenging, a little hard. It was the last class of the month, so I wanted to make it a little fun too. So I'll throw in a couple of little things in there. But I will be sure to catch y'all next weekend. As usual, stay safe. Enjoy your time. All right, folks.